Happy Thursday. Wow, we're already on Thursday, guys. Ladies, not guys, ladies. The week is almost over already. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Good morning, Miss Malika. Happy Thursday. Good morning, Miss Donna. Happy Thursday. Good morning, Miss Cassandra. Happy Thursday. Good morning, Miss Michelle. Happy Thursday. Good morning, Miss On Island. Happy Thursday. Good morning. Good morning, Miss Tarsa. Happy Thursday. Good morning, Miss Gail. Happy Thursday. Ah, good morning, Miss Forever His, Forever Hers. I love that. Good morning, Miss. Yeah. Good morning, Miss Niecy, baby. Niecy, baby. Good morning, Miss Janicia. I was talking to Sheena about you this morning. Yesterday, Miss Janicia. I was telling her that you were at the Papacitos when we met. She was like, for real? All them years ago? Oh. Did I say good morning, Miss Andrea? Good morning, Miss Andrea. Happy Thursday, if I did not. Good morning, Miss Nisa, honey. Listen, I was telling my story and I had to start crying. I said, Lord, I'm not going to cry. I done told the story 50 times. Why are you up here crying? And I don't know. It's hard to tell that story and not cry. Thank you. Because sometimes I do. I think it gets old. I'm like, nobody wants to hear about this. But I had told God, I said, it is March. It is Colon Cancer Awareness Month. And I'm going to share my story. So I have one last platform to share it on. Really two. I need to share it on TikTok and Instagram. And I said I was going to share it on each platform. So I already did it on Threads. I already did it on Facebook. I already did it on YouTube. So I got two more. Oh, 4 times. Oh my gosh. God is so good. Good morning, Miss Angie. Good morning, Miss Patrice. Good morning, Miss Adrian. Good morning. Twice. Oh my God, God is so good. 4 times. My former mother-in-law, she is a 3-time breast cancer survivor. And when I got sick, she was like, "You can make it." She was like, "You can get through it, baby." I thought it was very moving. It will help others. Thank you, Miss Cassandra. Good morning, Miss Monica. God, yes, he is truly blessed, y'all. Oh my gosh. You know how much hope that gives someone? Because, they be like, oh, well, you get it a second time. You get it a third, That just, I hope you share that everywhere you go. Good morning, Miss Call Me Lexi. Happy Thursday. Good to see you. Hold on, y'all. Let me see. Is my coffee going? No, it's not. I forgot to turn on my coffee machine. That's okay. Thank you, Miss Nurse Hart. So I am trying. I am I am trying to live my life with grace. Everything that we say in here, every day I take this and I pray that God helps me implement this and apply this to my daily life. Um, so yeah. I think it's penetrating. I think it's getting in there. It's getting in the heart. There's a reason you're here to tell people need to be aware and take the necessary precautions. Thank you, Miss Donna. Thank you so much. Listen, I read your comment this morning, Miss Island. I read the comments and I go back and I take a certain time to answer them. So I apologize if I haven't answered them yet, because if I try to answer them as they come in, I'll never get anything else done. But I read your comment, and when you said this morning, you happened to go into urgent care that had a CT scan machine, and you were like, God was all over that. And I never thought about that. And all the times I've told that story, I never thought about that. This one I went into, that God made sure I went into one that had one of those machines. Like, that's crazy. Good morning, Miss Candy Kane. Happy Thursday. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Yeah, I never thought about that. I was like, wait a minute. Good morning, Miss Fashion Plus Style Girl. Happy Thursday. Yes. Yes, Miss Cassandra. His will. All of him. None of me. Let his will be done every day. Lord, take me out of it. Because obviously I don't be making the best decisions. All right, ladies. It's 7:07. Poor Chop's coming this morning. I don't know what time he's coming because his granny's bringing him. Sometimes she come early. Sometimes she come late. So let's get started. It is day 28. And we are talking about the gift of femininity in marriage and relationships. Our Bible verse is Proverbs 18:22. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. Our devotion is Esther understood influence in marriage and relationships. A feminine woman inspires, nurtures, and creates peace, whether single or married. So even though our verse is talking about finding a good wife, you're a very, like we talked about last week, quiet influence. You are influential. You are influential. Single and married. Just being a feminine woman of faith, you are influential. Your presence should be a gift to those around you. Our affirmation is, I bring warmth, love, and wisdom into my relationships. Our action step is, if you're married, do something kind for your husband. My husband would love that. If you're single, practice self-love in preparation for your future relationship. Our journal prompt is, how can you cultivate warmth, grace, and love in your relationships? And that's not to say I don't do kind things for my husband, but like I had lunch. I went and got my mom yesterday, and she didn't have a car right now, so I took her some places that she needed to go. It was unplanned, but I don't know. God was like, call your mom. And she never answers the phone. She always call me back later. And so she answered the phone, and I said, well, Mom, I'm going to come by there. I'm not too far from you. And she was like, oh, okay. Well, can you take me so-and-so, so-and-so? I was like, sure. And then we ended up having lunch, and we were talking, and she loves my husband. She loves my husband. So we called him, and she got to see him on the FaceTime and everything. And she was just like, hey, Anthony. She calls him her husband. I'd be like, Mama, that's not your husband. It's mine. But anyway, she was like, she was like, oh, she's like, I told y'all my husband is coming home and he's going to be at home more. He's traveling less with this new promotion that he got. And so I was telling her, and she was like, oh, how you feel about your husband coming home? And I'm like, I had to give him a little talk and let him know that. And good morning, Miss Shay. Happy Thursday. I had to give him a little talk and let him know that your girl still has a life. Like, I have a life outside of you. And he's like, I don't care. I was like, Mama, he's like, I don't care. You're my life. And I don't care if you have a life. You still gonna be here with me. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to be able to do things, guys. That's not what he's saying. He's just saying I'm his priority and he wants to make sure he is my priority. So I was telling my mom, I was like, I've never, ever, ever had a man like that. Like that just, I've told y'all before, he loves, if he could be in my skin, like Savannah James said that time about LeBron, I felt that. If he could be in my skin, he would be in my skin. He would be in my skin, okay? He would wear me like last year's Versace. So, and I've never had anyone like that. And my mom was like, you know what? That's a blessing. He truly loves you, and that's why I love him so much. So I am blessed. I am truly blessed, and I'm grateful. So let's talk about being influential in our relationships. Let's read our verse. I'm sorry. Proverbs 18:22. Because I like to read it. I think that's it in its entirety, but if not, we're about to see. And y'all make sure that y'all pay attention to that voice. That verse, excuse me. It says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. He finding you, girl. Not the other way around. So in the NLT version, the New Living Translation, it says, the man who finds a wife finds a treasure, and he receives favor from the Lord. And he truly does. Really quick, a lady I followed, like she's been on a whole spiritual journey and feminine journey over years and years, and she had said that men, when they take care of their family and when they, really love their wives and take care of their wives, and you see them out here doing all these things for their wives, using their resources, all of that type of stuff, she was like, they move up. And I have to say that is honestly true. My husband is very generous. He takes very good care of me and my children, all of them, the grown ones and the one that lives with us, and our bonus kids, of course. Well, my bonus kids are the kids that we share. All of the kids that we share, because we share kids. We don't have any together by birth, but we share all of our children. So all of our children, he's very generous with all of us. And since we have been together, he has been promoted twice. He was recruited by the company that he's at and moved up in the position there. And then he hasn't even been there a year. It won't be a year until like July. And he's already been promoted. And I told my mom yesterday, I see so many big things for him because he loves his work. He's very serious about his job. He does not play. He does not play about providing. He does not play about protecting, any of those things. And God has continued to elevate him because of that. So this verse is true. This verse is very, very true. So a feminine woman of faith is influential in her marriage and relationships, not by force or control, but through her grace, wisdom, and spirit-led presence. Good morning, Miss Patricia. Her influence is powerful because it flows from a heart that is rooted in God's truth and a spirit that seeks to uplift, nurture, and bring peace. Again, like we talked about yesterday, are we in conversation, understanding that heaven is listening, and to our loved ones who we seem to be lax with sometimes, sometimes the people that we say we love see the worst. They see the worst part of it, right? Part of us, right? Good morning, Miss Nene. Happy Thursday. Good to see you. They see the worst part of us instead of the best part of us, right? And sometimes that's a shame. That's a shame that they don't see the best of us, that we go out to the world and we're nicer to strangers than we are to the people in our own home, right? And not saying we shouldn't be nice to strangers, but when it comes to the best, we should show up for our family. we should show up for our loved ones, our husbands, our partners, um, our the man that we're dating, if he's doing what he's supposed to do. And also, let me not say that, because if he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing, don't get into returning energy, okay? Don't get into matching energy. Just let your standards and your boundaries be known. And if he's not doing what he's supposed to do, exit. Exit. You know, you can, explain to him this is not acceptable, but after so many times, hey, I can't I can't keep spending my energy here. My energy is valuable, my time is valuable, all of those things, right? I can't keep spending my energy here. And let him know, and then keep it moving. We don't have time to be out here trying to match energy and do people like they do us and all that kind of stuff. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just move on. Hey, I see we're not a good match. I wish you well. I listen. That was my famous breakup words. When I wasn't fooling with you no more, I was like, I wish you well. And I do, but it's not gonna be with me. So yes, the people that we love, the people that we care about, they should see the best in us. We should show up the best for them. Okay, and the same with God, right? A feminine woman's a feminine woman of faith's influence is not loud or demanding. It is gentle, intentional, and filled with love. Just like Queen Esther, whose strength was in her wisdom and grace, a feminine woman of faith knows that her presence can shift atmospheres and encourage growth in those around her. So here's how you can be influential in your marriage and relationships. Understand, and I've heard this before, and I saw someone say this yesterday or the day before, but I've heard this many times. You are the thermostat, right? You set the temperature in your home. You set the atmosphere. People come in and you are in the lead of that, right? Not anyone else. This is your home. You are the woman. You are that Proverbs 31 woman. You set the thermostat, okay? It's either going to be cold or it's going to be warm, right? Or just right. However you want it to be. And people are going to follow behind that. People are going to follow behind that. So make sure you're setting it with warmth. That's what I would say, right? Make sure that you are setting it with warmth. So a feminine woman of faith leads through godly wisdom. She understands that true influence comes from seeking God's guidance first. We talked about that yesterday. Before we say something, before we do something, pause and ask God, is this what you're having me to do? Is this what you want me to do right now? Before making decisions or offering advice, she prays and asks for discernment. Her words are seasoned with grace and wisdom, bringing clarity and peace, right? Because like we talked about yesterday, heaven is listening. Heaven is listening. Proverbs 14:1. We all have heard this verse many times. Good morning, Miss Wild Horses. The wise woman builds her house, but with her own hands, the foolish one tears hers down. And as someone who has witnessed women tear their houses down a few times, I can honestly say I had a hand in probably tearing. No, not probably. I had a hand in tearing my house down in my first marriage. We hold a lot of power. We hold a lot of influence. We hold a lot of power. We hold a lot more than we think that we do. people say it all the time. Men are the head, but women are the neck. We turn things, right? And we can turn things around, or we can have a stiff neck and nothing going nowhere, right? So you choose that. Start each day by praying for wisdom for your words and actions. Ask God to leave your conversations with love and clarity. A feminine woman of faith communicates with grace and kindness. Her influence is not how much she speaks, but how she speaks. And we've talked about the power in not saying everything, because we want, when we talk, for it to be impactful, right? We want people to listen when we talk. We want people to see us and be like, you know what? When Nicole says something, or when Miss Cassandra says something, when Miss Andrew says something, when whoever says something, I'm gonna listen, because she don't grace us with her presence, with her words all of the time. So obviously she got something important to say. Good morning, Miss Natasha. Happy Thursday. She chooses words that uplift rather than criticize. That's for me. Because, baby, when I say that child in there, well, she ain't in there right now. She at school. But that child in there causes me to nag and be like, why do you do that? And da-da-da-da. And I just want to keep her safe. I just want her to know I love her. I just want her to be the best that she can be. But sometimes we have to choose other ways, right? I had to fuss at her yesterday because she has this habit of wanting to wash 3 or 4 items, right? Instead of a whole load. She got a whole load of laundry in there, because we all do our own laundry around here. She has her whole load of laundry, but she only wanted to wash the 3 or 4 items that she's going to wear, right? So my father-in-law has told her, he's fussed at her about it. I fussed at her about it. And so yesterday she was doing it again. So I was like, listen, stop wasting all that water. Absolutely. I was like, girl, stop. Take your time. And again, we got to slow down. We got to set that example so these kids will slow down, right? I said, take your time and really sort out your clothes and wash each load. If you need mama to help you, I will help you. I really had to go in there and say that, because at first we were fussing. Me and my father-in-law were like, Riley, you're not supposed to do that. Da 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 da. Come on, you know better than that. Da 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 da. And I had to go in her room and I had to sit down. I had to talk to her. Take your time, sort out your clothes, wash your clothes. If you need me to help, I can help. And she was like, okay, mama. And I said, because we were having leftovers last night, I said, do you want some tacos? And she just bust out laughing. I just bust out laughing, because I was like, listen, do you want to go eat some tacos? Do you want some tacos? Because we need to break from this. Do you want some tacos? She was like, no, I don't want no tacos. I'm gonna go ahead and sort my clothes out and do what I'm supposed to do. Thank you. I just want to see you do well. I just want to see you be able to take care of yourself. I don't want you with no high water bill when you get grown, because you wash 3 pieces of clothing at one time. Like, I don't want that for you. So just listen. So sometimes we have to change our approach, right? The fussing, the nagging, the criticism, all of those things. I know that I can't speak for y'all, but I know that sometimes I lead with that when talking to my children and sometimes my loved ones, period. We have to change that. We have to switch that, right? To uplifting them. I think you're doing a good job. And what would add to that is if you do this or something like that. It's hard to let go of the nagging these children, even the grown ones. It never stops. Oh, I know it does not stop. Believe me, it does not stop when they're grown. Oh, I know. Yeah, I know. I got 3 grown ones, and I had to do some stuff yesterday with one of them. We as parents want them at their best self. Absolutely, you're talking to me and my daughter. I love her, but I want her to make better decisions. I'm trying to step away and pray because she is 51. I can't do it. Yes, ma'am. Listen, I have learned. You really, 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 like, God is teaching me through what we're doing. We really, really, really have to operate in love with these grown children. I know when I was growing up, there was a lot of things I did not listen to, that my mama was saying, that later I had to come back and say, I I wish I would have listened, right? Um, and so I try to think about that when my kids do stuff. I try to think about, you know what, when I was younger, I did not listen either. I did not listen either. And even though we think we know better, we think we know that we do know, but we think that we're preventing them from the things that we're supposed to prevent them from. We got to just let go and let God, because who's to say that they don't need to go through whatever they need to go through to get to where they're supposed to be, right? And who says that we're preventing them from doing that by stepping in all the time and telling them, what to do, and, putting our 2 cents out there? Who's to say that they're not supposed to go through the things that they're supposed to go through to get to the top, right? To be blessed, right? We know that there are plenty lessons that we had to learn to get to where we are today. So I try to think of it like that. And I just pray, like, that God protects them and keeps them. Period. That's all I could do. So, she chooses words that uplift rather than criticize. When addressing difficult topics, she does so with gentleness and respect. Respect, right? Not saying our children shouldn't respect us. We know that the word calls for them to do that, but we also have to develop respect for our children as well. Respect their choices, even if we don't agree with them. Because we know that we made choices that weren't agreeable with our parents, right? And some were right and some were wrong, but the choices had to be made, right? And at least they're making choices, right? At least they're not always. At least they're not stagnant. At least they're growing, right? We know that there are growing pains, so that indicates growth. That's what I'm trying to say. She listens with empathy, going back to understanding that we did things too when we were younger. Empathizing. She listens with empathy and speaks with care, knowing her words carry weight. Your words carry weight. Giving someone, a loved one, because we're talking about people we're in relationships with, giving a loved one an encouraging word, uplifting them, hitting them with some kind words rather than criticizing them. Saying, your grown child's coming to you, Mom, I've made this decision. This is what I'm going to do. And instead of you saying, oh, I don't think you should do that, da, 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 you know what? I know that you've made the best decision for you at this time, and I'm going to ask God to protect you and cover you and keep you. And leave it at that. You know how mind blown my grown children. Listen, I had a situation with my son where he did something that I was not happy with at all. And I let him know I wasn't happy with what he did because it was a pretty big thing between us. And I let him know, and he was kind of hurt, and he lashed back at me and said some things. And I saw him. I responded back to him, and I told him, you're grown now. I am not here to punish you. I love you. I always want the best for you. I would not keep anything within my power from you. So, hey, if you resolve this situation, that's cool. If you don't, that's cool too. I'm always gonna love you. I'm always gonna be your mama. And he never responded, and I didn't push because I'm learning to, again, let go, let God. And I saw him at my daughter's house. I happened to go over there. I know he didn't know I was coming over there. And I was like, give me a hug. I love you. And he was kind of tearing up because my son, he's a very strong young man, but he's very sensitive, and he was tearing up, and he was like, I love you, mama. And I was like, I love you too. Like, the love doesn't stop. And I think it's important to relay that to these kids. The love doesn't stop just because you don't do something that I agree with. The love is still there. I'm still gonna love you. And again, like I always have been saying, I cannot punish grown people, right? Me and my mom talked about that yesterday. It's natural consequences for things that you do. So I I ask God to keep his hand on you, because I know that there's things I can't prevent, right? They're gonna happen because you made this decision. Um, so what I'm called to do, what we know we're called to do, is to love. And so that's that's what I do. It's hard to balance and be emotional and intelligent parent. We don't want these kids to be too hard or too soft or perfectionists. Absolutely. I'm talking to you, Miss Andrea. Yeah. It is true. When they are young, they're on your lap. When they're older, they're on your heart. You're right. Let go and let God. God has me. He has our children. Absolutely. Yeah, Miss Felika. Went through that yesterday. Sometimes we gotta let them fall. Absolutely. Sometimes they gotta go through things to get through life. If we are always listen, if you don't let them, if you always saving that baby bird, when they get out that nest, if you always saving them, they will never know how to survive. They will never know how to survive. And we are not always going to be here. We are, the good Lord does not call us to live forever. And some of our time is longer, and our time is shorter, and they're going to have to know how to survive out here without us. Right? As parents, we instill these values and beliefs and don't trust or lose faith that Jehovah has them as well. Absolutely. We pray to Jehovah for guidance and lose faith that Jehovah, and yes, and have faith that Jehovah cover them. Keep loving and praying. That's all. That's all. And I just I communicated to him, I love you. I'm praying for you. I know that you're going to do your best, and I believe in you. Like, it's a big thing to let kids know that, not kids, but our adult children know that, well, not even our adult children, all of our children know that we believe in them. We believe in them. It's a good thing also to let your husband or your person you're dating, I just say partner, that you believe in them. I can say a big component of me and my first marriage not working out is because I did not believe in my first husband. I did not trust in him. I did not believe in him. I so believe in my husband. Babe, I believe you. I believe you can do anything. I trust that you're going to make a good decision. When he made a decision to leave his last company and go to his new company that he's at now, last year, he was very, very stressed about it. I could tell, because he had taken on this responsibility of us being married. We hadn't gotten married yet, but we were about to be married. We were engaged. We had moved in. He had taken on the responsibility of additional family members to care for and all of that. And so he did not want to make the wrong move. And he kept, coming to me and, this is this and this is this. And he wasn't asking me to make a decision. What he was asking me for, without actually saying those words, is for me to support whatever decision he made. And God really had to speak to me and be like, girl, tell this man that tell this man that you believe in him, whatever decision that he makes, that you agree with that. And I did. I said, babe, whatever you decide to do, whether it's to stay with where you're at, because he was at a very big company, and the company he's moved to is kind of smaller, and there's disadvantages and advantages, right? But he wanted to move up, and he wasn't doing that where he was at. And so I said, whatever you decide to do, I support. I trust that you make good decisions, because what I've seen from you so far has been good. So I know you're going to make a good decision. And he came back to me later and he said, thank you, baby, for saying that. Thank you for believing in me. And that's all that anyone that we love wants from us, is to believe in them, to believe the best in them, right? So yeah, really, these children, we just got to let them know we believe in them, right? We just got to let the people in our lives, the ones that we love, know that we believe the best in them, right? We're not sitting here thinking that they're going to fall, that they're going to, go out here and do bad things. We believe the best. Someone once told me that when our children are young, we are their managers, and when they become adults, we are their consultants. I love that. Thank you for sharing that, Miss Fashion Plus Style Girl. I love that. I love that. It's very true. We are their managers and then we are their consultants, because they will come back and ask you, okay? As the 26-year-old, she comes, well, she's going to be 26 in July. She comes and asks me all the time, especially now that she's a mother. It's so funny. She sends me TikToks now, and she's like, she sends me things like, realizing your mama wasn't upset. She was just this. And so I was like, yeah, now you get it. You get it, right? Showing our tenderness to our loved ones. Oh, yes. I like how you said that, Miss Honor Island. Our tenderness, gentleness, kindness. Like, why are we not kind to the people that we say we love? Why are we the meanest to them? That makes no sense. That makes no sense, because we feel like they're gonna take it. One day they might not. One day they might just decide to sever that relationship with us. So, yes, we need to be kind. We need to be tender. We need to be loving. We need to be caring. We need to uplift. We need to inspire, right? We need to respect them and their decisions. She listens with empathy and speaks with care, knowing her words carry weight. Excuse me. Slow down. Proverbs 31:26. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. So, when you feel the urge to speak critically, pause and ask, how can I say this with love and encouragement? Or even think, like we learned yesterday, heaven is listening. Heaven is listening. Would God want me to say this to this person? Or how would God want me to say this to this person? Create a peaceful atmosphere. A feminine woman of faith is intentional about making her home a sanctuary of peace and joy. Again, you set the thermostat. You set the temperature in your home. What's the temperature in your home right now? Are people walking on eggshells? Are they scared to say something or do something or make a move? Or are they comfortable? Do they feel at peace? Do they feel like they can talk to you, give you a hug, things like that? Her influence is felt in the warmth she cultivates through a calm spirit, thoughtful touches, and a welcoming presence. It's funny. Growing up, and especially through my first marriage, I was not a touchy-feely woman. But now I'm such a touchy-feely woman. I will touch you. I will touch your shoulder, your arm. I want to. Last night, after I asked Riley about the tacos, I came there and I squeezed her and I gave her a big hug. And she was like, "Do we have to hug?" Yes, we have to hug. Like, I want to touch you. People need to be touched, not in, y'all know what I'm saying. But people need to feel that human contact, because, like I told my mom yesterday, because we were talking about the differences in, when I was coming up and when these kids are coming up. These kids stand alone. These kids don't have to be in cliques or anything like that now. I don't see a lot of social bonding like we did when we were growing up, because we did not have cell phones. We didn't have social media. We didn't have all of these things that you can make like your own world in, right? Our friends were our world. Like, oh, we had to go outside and find our friends and do stuff and go to the mall and, talk to people and all of those type of things, right? We had relationships growing up. These kids, a lot of them stand alone. A lot of them, this is their relationship. This is all they know. Some of them don't even have friends. You know what I mean? And we have to be in contact with them. We have to touch them, let them know, humans exist. I know that sounds crazy. I know it does. But it's true. Like, these kids are caught up in in the phone. They're caught up in this whole other world that we didn't have growing up. So we can't relate. We can't relate in that sense, right? Showing our tenderness. Oh, yes. That is so true. My 27 granddaughter calls me often for advice, and I love that she values me like that. Me too. Yes, more of that now. Yeah. Yeah, like we really have to let them know, humans exist. Relationships are good. Talking to people is good. Like I have to constantly we have a rule of no phones when we are at the dinner table. When it's all of us, no phones. Put your phone up. You can have it there by you, but don't be on your phone. And we talking. What you do, ooh, do you like this? I always ask the kids, critique my food. Do you want to eat? Do you like this food? You know what I'm saying? Because of course, Alex and Lindsay haven't had my food growing up, so I'm like, y'all like this? That's what I'm asking about, stuff like that. And I'm still getting to know them, right? I've only known them for a little over a year. So yeah, yeah, that's y'all rule too. Yeah, like we gotta get them off that phone. And I am a full component of cuddling, touching, wanting to be close to them. I go in the girls because God has really blessed me with my bonus kids, and they are so at the right age. And y'all know Riley was the youngest growing up, and she always wanted me to have another baby, and I was like, girl, that ain't happening. And so when I married my husband and when we moved in and all that kind of stuff, she really, her and Lindsay really took to each other. So when Lindsay comes on the weekend, and Alex too, that's like their annoying little brother. But when Lindsay comes on the weekend, Riley goes straight to her. And they're now, Lindsay is her own person. I can say that about that little girl. She is her own person, and I love that for her. So sometimes she tells Riley, I need my alone time, right? But Riley's been alone this whole week. Lindsay's never been alone because her and Alex are twins, and they're always together, right? So Lindsay has to tell her, I need my alone time. But when she does want to come together with Riley, they're in the room together. They actually, which I thought was hilarious, they had a sleepover in Lindsay's room last weekend. I was like, Lindsay, let you sleep in there, Riley? And she was like, yeah, I was so happy. So they would be in the bed on their phones, talking, laughing, watching TikToks and stuff like that. And I would come and get right there in the middle of the bed with them. What we watching, girls? What we doing? Now, I know I annoy them and get on their nerves, but I'm happy for it. I'm happy for it. That's a good rule in eating together. I love it. My children were brought up with us eating meals together. Yeah, we were too. When I was growing up, we ate meals together. But anyway, her influence is felt in the warmth she cultivates through a calm spirit, thoughtful touches, and a welcoming presence. She guards, you too, Miss Wild Horses. She guards the atmosphere of her relationship, choosing peace over drama and joy over bitterness. Listen, don't let nobody come into your space acting up. I ain't saying you have to get with them like that, but you got to get with them with gentleness and kindness. You guard your home. You guard your heart. You guard and have boundaries on how people treat you and treat, the house that you come into. You know how your parents were when you were growing up. Don't let nobody come in here and tear up your stuff. Don't let nobody come in here and tear up your peace. Don't let them do it. Them little kids, the big kids, don't let them do it. Don't let them do it. Good morning. Proverbs 17:1 says, better a dry crust with peace and quiet than a house full of feasting with strife. Okay? It's better to have peace and quiet and have less than have a lot and it's filled with conflict and strife. Practice lighting candles, playing soft music, saying a prayer over your home. Invite God's presence to fill the space. I think that's a good practice in the morning. Lord, let your presence fill this home. Let people feel your presence when they come through this home, when they come in and out of this space. I think that's a good prayer to start off your morning. She honors and supports her spouse. She encourages her partner's God-given strengths and dreams. Rather than tearing down, she speaks life and encouragement. It's very important for us to encourage our partners, our spouses, to let them know that we trust them, we trust their decision making skills, we believe in them, and even when they don't make good decisions, that we trust that they can turn it around, right? Because as long as they are here, as long as you wake up in the morning, you can turn any situation around. And sometimes people just need you to believe that they can do better, right? You can do better. Not coming at them with, I know you're better than this, but I believe you can turn the situation around, baby. Because when you lead with, I know you better than this, that sounds like a put down, right? I know you can turn the situation around. I know you can turn any situation around. You're so smart. You're so capable. Those type of things, right? She offers constructive feedback, but is always rooted in love and a desire to see growth. Always rooted in love. Always trying your best to speak with gentleness and kindness, right? Excuse me. 1 Thessalonians 5:11 says, therefore, encourage one another and build each other up just as in fact you are doing. Speak one intentional word of affirmation to your spouse or loved one today. Let them know you believe in them. I think that would be a great practice. I hope that each and every one of you do that. Your spouse or your loved one, your children, whoever you have in your life. Let them know you believe in them. I believe in you. I see great things in you, babe. I know you are going to be great, right? I tell my husband that all the time. I know, like, you finna set this, I tell him all the time, you gonna set this company on fire. They don't know what they got. I be like, oh. Like, I'm a hype man because my mama is a hype man. Okay, when she got on the phone with him yesterday, my mom always, because my husband is a very serious man, so he don't do a lot of smiling, okay? Even though it doesn't seem that way if you've ever watched him on the vlog. If you've met him in person, you're like, ooh, this man, is he mean? What's going on? My mom can get on the phone with him and he is smiling in 2.5 seconds. Because she is like, oh, look at my handsome son-in-law. Oh, da, da, da. Oh, you look so handsome. Look at you being you over there running that company, aren't you? Listen, my mama got it down to a science, okay? And I'll be over there taking notes. Okay. All right, I need to say, oh, she told him yesterday, oh, I just love to see your smile. Oh, you have such a beautiful smile. Oh, and just, oh my God. She is new to social media. So she's like, I was watching, she just says, she don't know what platform. She don't know what Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, any of those things are. She just knows it's on her tablet. She said, I saw on my tablet, this woman, she goes up to men and she says, oh, King, smile, King, you so handsome, da, da, da. And I was like, I saw that. I've seen that on TikTok before. Yeah, I seen it on my tablet. She's like, you need to make sure you smile at everyone you see today. You blessing them with that smile, son-in-law. I just be like, go ahead, mama. Baby, that's why when he be like, your mama needs something, he be like, what your mama need? Because she got it down. She lets people know and she believes in them. That she, loves to see them. That's a good, let somebody know that you are happy to see them today, right? I think that that's a very good compliment. I'm so happy to see you. Oh, I'm so happy you're here. I love saying that. I hope that makes people feel good. She cultivates emotional and spiritual intimacy. She understands that true influence is not manipulative, it is relational. By being emotionally available and spiritually aligned, she builds a foundation of trust. I think that that's very important, that our loved ones can trust us, right? That they know we're not out here spreading their business and things like that. That they're not out, that they can come to you and confide in you, right? That you are discreet, right? things like that. I think that it's important for us to get back to that. To please stop telling all your business on the internet. Please, please. Or if you are going to share a story, get permission. When I shared the story about me thinking that my husband was homeless, I did that with permission. Okay, if you've ever heard that story, I did so with permission. Honey, can I share this? Because it was a funny story. And I think that it was a story that women need, because we're always looking at different things. And sometimes things aren't as they seem, right? And if you've never heard the story, real quick, when I was looking at my husband's profiles on Tinder, he was always either in a hotel room or in his truck or at work, one of the three. And I was like, when I started talking to him, because we didn't really get into a lot those first couple of messages. From looking on those pictures, I was like, this man got to be homeless. He's never out of his home. Why is he always in a hotel room, not knowing that he traveled extensively for work, right? So everything isn't as it seems. That was the lesson that I was trying to convey. But anyway, stop putting all y'all stuff on the internet. Y'all know that stuff is out there forever. All it takes is a screenshot, right? It's out there forever. We never want to embarrass our loved ones intentionally. Sometimes, it happens. I'm sure I embarrass my children sometimes because I talk too much. They say, like, you're always out here. Because I'm always out here. When I see people, I talk to people. I ask questions. Oh, I like that. I compliment people. And for them, that's embarrassing because, again, they live in this is their world. So talking to people, is that a thing? Right? So, but we never want to intentionally embarrass our loved ones. And sometimes we have to think, is what I'm about to say or share with people going to embarrass my loved one? Is it going to put them in a negative light? Is it going to have people laugh at them or make fun of them or think bad of them? Like, we really have to start using discernment and being discreet in what we share online, especially, right? Because it never goes away. It never goes away. And she invites her spouse into prayer, shares her faith journey, and encourages God-centered conversations. Definitely. Let it be an invitation, though. Y'all don't be out here trying to force God on people, because I can tell you that's the number one way to turn them away. God invites us, right? God is the ultimate gentleman. He invites us into, he gives us an invitation for him to enter into our lives, right? That's the same thing that we, in my opinion, should display as well. I went to church, and I was telling my husband I was going to go to church this Sunday, but I actually have something. It starts at 10:30, and church doesn't start till 9:30, so I won't be able to attend that service. But he was saying, is this a thing? Are you going to be going to church? And I said, yeah. And I said, hey, I'm not forcing you to come to church with me. If you'd like to come to church, I would love that. If you don't, I get it. I understand everyone has to have their own personal journey with God. And he was like, okay. He was like, so here's some information about me. I did not grow up like in Black churches per se. I grew up in a lot of multiracial churches. It's just how I was raised. My family went to churches where it was, a mixture of people. So that is what I know. And even though I have been to some, you would say, Black churches, I don't know. I don't necessarily like saying that, but I gravitate toward what I grew up in, right? So the church that I visit is a multiracial church. It's a pretty mixed church of people, right? So he's like, I don't know about going to that. I was like, well, if you want to visit another church together, we can visit another church together. But yeah, I would love for you to come to church with me. But if you can, I get it. I understand. Hey, Miss Adiola. Good morning. Me too. At times, we are the only Black family. Yeah. See, that's how I grew up. We weren't ever the only Black family. It was several Black families there, but it was a good mix of white, Hispanic, some Asian. I think I had growing up, we had an Asian family there, Black families. So it's just how I grew up. When I was going to church steadily, I went to Lakewood Church, and y'all know that's a big mix of people. So like, yeah, I never went. My church home was only one time I was at a predominantly black church, and it was a very small church, and it ended up being, I hate to say this, kind of messy in the end. So yeah, it's just that's just what I gravitate toward. So he's not used to that. He's like, "What is this? Where you going? What's the church?" I'm like, it's Hope City." It is what it is. But anyway, she invites her spouse into prayer, shares her faith journey, and encourages God-centered conversations. Not forces them, encourages them, invites, right? Matthew 18:20 says, "For where two or three are gathered in my name, there am I with them." That's why I love doing this devotional. That's why fellowship is so important. Because God is in the midst of two or three gathered together. Start a shared prayer journal with your spouse or commit to praying together once a week. And it really helps. Me and my husband have a devotional. We're still working through. We don't do it every day. We're still working through it, but we do it. We do try our best to get it done. Just so we can, it's a good conversation starter, especially because, I mean, truth be told, me and my husband have only known each other for a little over a year. We met in November of 2023, so over a year. So yeah, it's good to have these conversations that you never thought about. And for those things to come up and you be able to give your opinion in the context of not it being a conflict, but of just discussing things, right? Um, I have to look at the name of it. It's like this little I'll see if I can go get it real quick because girl, sorry, I don't be remembering names and stuff. Um, she models strength through softness. Her strength is not found in dominance, but her ability to remain calm and composed. I think that that's important, especially as mothers, because we are women and we are emotional. Sometimes, things happen and we just like freak out, right? We freak out like when Riley hit her head and got the concussion, and I was like, "Oh my God, baby, you okay?" Da, 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 da. And look, I learned through dealing with poor Chop because he does things all the time, hits his little hand. I think the other day he slammed his hand in something, and I was like, "Poor Chop, it's okay, it's okay." Like, we have to, again, set the thermostat. We set the atmosphere. If mom is calm, the kids are going to be calm, right? My mom's not freaking out because they're looking at us. They're looking at us. Like, how is she reacting? And so we have to learn how to be calm and composed. Calm and composed. You have a couple, you want to try one? Okay. I'll get it when we finish this. She does not react impulsively. She responds with patience and understanding. And that again is us slowing down. I hope that you really, because God is working on this with me, but I hope with you as well, God is working on you to slow down, to stop rushing, to understand that things can wait, that you can take your time, that God is the master of everything. So if one thing you can do is take your time, you ain't got to rush. You ain't got to try to make something happen. You ain't got to do none of those things. God, He's already set things up. There's no need for you to rush. Take your time. Slow down. Really think about things. Really be intentional, right? Have patience. Demonstrate patience. Again, we are setting the example. We are setting the atmosphere. She knows that true strength is in her ability to forgive, extend grace, and remain steadfast in her faith. We model those things, and sometimes we have to model forgiveness, right? We have to show our children, especially when we have multiple kids, as they get into arguments, we forgive and we move on because we're family. Now, again, that doesn't mean people should cross your boundaries and keep doing things to you, that you should be a doormat. But there still should be forgiveness. Whether we continue to engage in a relationship with you or not, there still should be forgiveness there. Proverbs 15:1 says, a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. The next time frustration arises, take a deep breath and offer a gentle response. Practice responding with patience. I think if we could be patient, if we can learn to slow down, I think that that would help a lot of things, because moving fast sometimes causes you to make wrong decisions or say the wrong thing, or do the wrong thing, to make the wrong move, all of those things. So I really, really hope and pray that we all slow down, that we stop rushing, that we take our time, because we can. You can. If you feel like you need permission, let me give you permission right now. You can take your time, girl. It's okay. It's okay. Whatever's there for you is not going anywhere. You can take your time. She seeks growth and encourages this in others. A feminine woman of faith remains committed to her personal growth and relationship with God. She inspires growth in her spouse or loved ones, not by pressure, but by example, right? We're not out here pressuring people. Again, we're leading by example. We are setting the atmosphere. We are setting the tone. We are showing kids that, not kids, excuse me. Somebody told me a long time ago, and it always stuck with me, not to call kids kids, because kids are goats, right? They're like, your kids are not goats. Your children are not goats, right? So I try to say children, but I still messed it up. But anyway, oh, okay. Haste makes waste. I know that's right. Oh no, I didn't mean to unhide this person. Okay. me and Miss Natarsa, thank you so much, Miss Natarsa, for moderating for me. I really appreciate you. But yeah, she inspires growth in her spouse or loved ones, not by pressure, but by example. She shares her journey of faith and celebrates growth in others. And that's so funny. I told y'all I listened to this podcast by Dr. Daff, Michelle Daff. She's also on YouTube. She also has like another channel. I haven't checked it out yet, but I will, called Mornings with Michelle. But she is a Christian based podcaster, and she talks about femininity, and she also talks about biblical femininity. That's her basis, right? And so she was talking about celebrating, that feminine women celebrate others. They celebrate everything, right? We are grateful and happy for anything that happens in our life. So start celebrating people, right? Start celebrating the children getting an A, or, passing a test, or and celebration doesn't mean I go out and I buy the latest greatest thing, right? Celebration means I got you a cupcake, or I made some cookies for you today because I'm so proud of you, right? Or I saved your favorite song or show or something like that. The cards, like I said, writing stuff down. For our children, writing an encouraging word, putting that in their lunchbox. I know you're going to do well on your test today. Like, we really have to get into the mindset of celebrating, right? Being happy, because there's so much going on in this world that can bring us down. So I think that would truly encourage people, uplift people, inspire people to know that you celebrate them, even the little things. Hey, y'all know what? I am so proud of y'all for doing y'all laundry, for going in there and doing all your loads and putting them away. I got you this special scent for your room or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be big. It don't mean go out there and spend all of your money, but just let people know that you're proud of them. That's a part of uplifting them, right? Which is what we know we're called to do. Iron sharpens iron, and one person sharpens another. Proverbs 27:17. Reflect on one way you can grow spiritually, emotionally, or mentally. Invite your spouse to join you on that journey. A woman of faith influences not through control, but through graceful presence, thoughtful words, and unwavering faith. She doesn't demand respect, she earns it. She doesn't force change, because we ain't forcing nothing out here. We inspire it, we influence it. She doesn't manipulate outcomes, she trusts God to lead. And because she carries herself with wisdom, kindness, and the Spirit of God, her influence is felt, not just heard, right? It ain't a bunch of words. My mama walked that talk, right? My mama walked that talk. Do you walk that talk? Like, can people look at you and say, she does what she says she's going to do? Do you keep her word? Do you keep your word? I think that's very, very important. So, day 28, the gift of femininity in marriage and relationships. Our Bible verse is, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. He who finds a wife. He who finds a wife. For my single people, he who finds a wife. Okay, for my single ladies. Felt not heard. Yes, Miss Angie. Our devotion is, Esther understood influence in marriage and relationships. A feminine woman inspires, nurtures, and creates peace, whether single or married. Your presence should be a gift to those around you, right? They should love to see you coming, not hate to see you coming. You know those people that you hate to see coming. You don't ever want to be one of those people. You don't ever want to be one of those people that people hate to see coming. I want people to see me and be like, oh, I'm so happy you're here. Like, I want to hear that, right? And I want people to feel that from me. But yeah. Action step. Oh, affirmation. I bring warmth, love, and wisdom into my relationships. Our action step is, if you're married, do something kind for your husband. If you're single, do something kind for yourself. Practice self-love and preparation. Preparation for your future relationship. Our journal prompts is, how can you cultivate warmth, grace, and love in your relationships? So that is our devotional for today. I am so blessed and happy that you ladies were here with me this morning. Thank y'all so much. Y'all don't know how much I appreciate y'all. I pray for every one of you every day. And I ask God to just guide you and line you with whatever he has for your life, because I know whatever he has is good. It's for your highest good. So yeah, let me go get that devotional real quick. I forgot who asked, but I'll look. Hold on. It's called excuse me. It's called A Little God Time for Couples. So you come in and it talks about excuse me. A Bible verse, a devotional, and then a prayer at the bottom. So yeah. Oh yes. Have a great day, everyone. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad that I could help. Oh, okay. At Ross, I'm gonna start looking, Miss Cassandra. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, I got it off of Amazon, Miss Patrice. But anyway, y'all, I love y'all. I pray and intend for you to have the best day ever. I gotta go because my husband is calling. He's like, it's about that time. So I will talk to y'all on tomorrow. It's Friday, and we're gonna have a really good devotional for tomorrow. I've already taken a peek. Oh, hey, Miss Candy Cane. Thank you. I hope that you have a blessed, wonderful day as well. Bye, y'all.